Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free, impartial advice on all your debt.
Morning, morning, morning. Tuesday morning, another fight week is dropping. This time, Conor Benn against Sebastian Formella. Massive fight for Conor Benn. How we doing, people? Higgs, what's happening? Hi, Mayor, how we doing? So, I just thought I'd come on, see what's happening. As I said, Saturday night, we're back in Wembley Arena. Big fight card. Conor Benn against Sebastian Formella. Massive step up for him. As you know, Formella just boxed Sean Porter, went the distance with him in a good fight. Fabio Wardley, big step up against Larty, big heavyweight fight. Alan the Savage Babbage against Tom Little. I think we're a bit stuck, to be honest with you. Oh, here we go. Tough fight for Ben, yes. Dan C, what's happening? Chris Bouchin, how we doing? What did I think of Brook? I thought Kell boxed well for the first 3 rounds. I mean, look, Terence Crawford's a great fighter. I thought Kell got himself in great shape. Couldn't have done any more. Peter White, how you doing, mate? No, it is not box office. Jang Siddiq. When's Fury smacking AJ? Probably never, but I mean, when's he fighting? Come on, he was supposed to fight December 5th. What's going on? Are you going to give Dave Allen a job? He wants to be our matchmaker. I'm sure we'll work with Dave in the future. We can't just give him a job for the sake of giving him a job, but Dave is actually an intelligent man and knows his boxing. So, what are my lasting memories of Dave Allen? Do you know what? Probably, you know when he boxed Luis Ortiz? I mean, at the time, I didn't know him. I didn't promote him. I didn't manage him. We needed an opponent for Luis Ortiz, and Dave Allen volunteered. And he cut his tongue in that fight, right down the side. And I remember going back to the change room after the Luis Ortiz fight, and Dave came up to me and he was like, Can I have another fight, please? Can you get me another fight? And from there, I just looked at him, I thought, you're one tough bastard. So then we started looking after him, and we've had a great run. He's made a lot of money, got himself some houses, probably made a few mistakes, but I think with Dave, when I had a conversation with him on Friday or Saturday, and we were trying to find him an opponent for this weekend coming, he said to me, I just don't really want to fight anyone. And you know, he was going to fight someone, I won't mention a name, and he said, well, you know, he might punch me back. And I'm like, what, Dave? And Dave's brutally honest. And basically, Dave turned around to me and said, I don't want to get punched anymore. I thought, it's probably not the best job to have if you don't want to get punched anymore. So he spoke to his sister, and I think he made the right decision. He didn't want that Babbage power. Is Babbage a gimmick? Okay. This Saturday, Alan Babbage fights Tom Little. Now, we all know Tom Little, don't mind me saying, he's a lazy bastard, and he's also a porky bastard as well. For this fight, he's had 8 weeks' notice. He's trained his nuts off, and he's got in really good shape. Tom Little can fight. I think it's a 50-50 fight with a Savage. I really do. Any fights for Callum Smith? Yeah, look, you know, it's been out there that we're discussing with Canelo Alvarez, the Callum Smith fight for December. Not done, but I'm hopeful we can get that made. Cardio Box, how we doing? Lee Witts, any more fights for the AJ undercard? Listen, this AJ card is unbelievable, right? We are the only people that are bringing you big time boxing. Obviously, you saw Fury, they couldn't get the money together for this fight. AJ is boxing. Akoli against Glowacki for the world title. Bakoli Kuzmin. Huey Fury against Marius Wack. Still another 3 or 4 fights to go on December 12th. That is a monstrous card to end the year. Knockout Jess Washington. When's Ellie back out? Ellie Scotney, she was supposed to box this weekend. She pulled out because she was a little bit under the weather. No COVID. So unfortunately, she missed her fight date, but we'll get her out as soon as possible. What happened with Lucas Brown against Fabio Wardley? In Australia, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks before you go and 2 weeks when you get back. And there was just basically no time to do it. Tyson Fury ringside for Joshua. Watch this space. What's the new date for Ryan Garcia against Luke Campbell? Being discussed at the moment. Florian against Ben. I think that's a monstrous fight. I think that can sell out the O2. To be honest, and you know, he's got some mad fans, but he needs to fight someone. Florian. Now, Conor Benn is making a massive step up this Saturday against Formella. So let's see Marku step up a little bit. Adriana Sports, what's happening? Yes, Jacob's Rosado card is stacked. November 26th on DAZN. When's Dillian White fighting next and who? Alexander Povetkin. Looks like January the 30th. Thoughts on Eggington and Theo Payne? Good fight. Yeah, good fight. Do you expect the AJ fight to be a war or chess match? I think it will be a chess match for the first couple of rounds, and then I think it's going to explode. And I expect a devastating knockout from Anthony Joshua. Billy Joe v Canelo 2021. Yes, Billy Joe's got to get past Martin Murray first, December the 4th. How many times a day do you say monstrous? Did I say that a lot? It's a monstrous fight. Yeah, I probably do actually. I like your little beard. Cheers, mate. I find that when I have a shave, I look really fat and ugly. So it's a good way to sort of hide it all. Jack Cullen, what's happening, mate? Great performance on Saturday. Who do I think will win on November 28th? Eddie, what is that pink mark on your forehead? Oh, that's actually a scar. Do you know what it was? Oh, I was on holiday once. I was actually playing cricket for Essex. You know, I do play for Essex. And I got burnt in the sun. And it's always like, if I ever go to the gym or go in the sun, it goes a bit pinky there. So there you go. I'll give you another fact about me. I've only got one earlobe, right? Check that one. Check that one. Look, I only have one earlobe. And it's not even a great earlobe, to be fair. Like a little one there. Look at that one. No earlobe. Can't have it all, I suppose. Ellie Setback, what's happening? Eddie, go for a Jagba, the next best thing. I think he can fight. That wasn't very impressive in his last fight. Kazman, how's the book? The book is flying. Listen, only one shameless plug on this live. My book, Relentless. Oh, I should try and get it out. Yeah, anyway. My book, Relentless. #1 Sunday Times bestseller. What's going on with the Fury December fight? It's not happening. They couldn't get the money together for that fight. When's Chisora fighting next? I don't know. I spoke to David Hay about that. Chisora's definitely fighting again. Do you know what I'd like to see Chisora have? You know, he keeps being in these really tough fights where he's an underdog. I'd like to see Chisora like headline a Saturday night fight night in a really good heavyweight fight. Someone like Zhang. Zilly Zhang against Chisora. I like it. Andrew Charlotte, save the Brentwood Centre, Eddie. Yes, Andrew, that is on the agenda. The Brentwood Centre, the new hub of Matchroom Sports. Watch this space. Tyson Fury must be frustrated. Yeah, I would think he's, you know, but at the end of the day, he's the WBC World Heavyweight Champion, and if he can't get the money together to give him what we all know that at the moment, it's difficult, and fighters are having to take less money on that top end. But they couldn't get anywhere close to the money he wants. Josh Warrington news, coming soon. We want, obviously, the fight with Kanzu, WBA champion, Ring Magazine, belt on the line as well. Any substance that AJ Zhang plans? Not really, but of course, a fight with AJ against Zhang in China at the Bird's Nest would be huge. So if Zhang keeps winning, that has potential. Who wins out of Dubois and Joyce? Good fight. I think you got to fancy Dubois early or Joyce to come on strong. I think if Joyce can get through the early rounds, I think he's got a good chance of the fight. Boazzi news. Boazzi will box in a big fight, actually. We're just planning that now, early next year. Probably February. Hi Edward, great show this weekend. That is correct. Great show this weekend. Great show last weekend, to be honest with you. Numbers were fantastic for Katie Taylor, so I have to have a special shout out for people. What are your opinions on Loma and his future bouts? I think Loma or Loma? Loma. Has to be Loma because it's Lomachenko. Or is it Lomachenko? No, I say Loma. I say Loma, you say Loma. No. I think Loma should move down to super featherweight and featherweight. Surely Chisora v Andy Ruiz, good fight. Why couldn't you get Eggington v Cheeseman? Didn't Cheese want it? Sam should be on Sky, in my opinion, not Channel 5. We couldn't agree terms. I mean, Cheeseman was up for the fight, but wanted to wait till there's more money to maybe do it in front of crowds. This whole thing about, like, Sam should be on Sky, not Channel 5. I mean, obviously, all right, we are number one, obviously, but there are other great places to box. So that's a good opportunity for Sam Eggington. It's like when Sky didn't pick up Lomachenko against Lopez, it's like, it's a disgrace. Well, there are what about Channel 5? What about ITV? What about BT? Don't always put the blame on me, people. Jeez. If you could sign anyone from the GB setup, what's the crack with Joe Gallagher? Nothing. Just got a lot on my plate and want to get people out who want to get out and want to get moving. Florian Marku, Conor Benn, yes, but we want to see Florian Marku in some proper fights. He hasn't boxed anyone yet. So we're going to try and work with Florian Marku. Hopefully we can get that wrapped up. And, then we can start moving towards fights like that. Why do you keep swerving Canelo v Smith, Eddie? Is it happening? I'm not swerving it. I did answer it earlier. We're in negotiations for Canelo against Callum Smith. We hope to get it over the line. There's still a long way to go. But I guess we have to do it this week if we're going to do it. Mr. Sam Jones, what's happening? Thoughts on Dave Allen? Discussed this earlier. I think he's made the right decision. I don't think he wants to fight anymore. And if you don't want to fight, if you don't want to get in there and take punches and battle it out, then it's time to move on. And that's what he did. When's Fitzy back? Good news on Scott Fitzgerald. Back in the gym. You probably won't see him this year. You'll see him very, very early next year. And then we want to make the Anthony Fowler fight straight off the bat. Big John, what's happening? Romford ball out soon. Sam Jones on the case. Getting everything in order with the board. Billy Joe Saunders versus Caleb Plant. Great fight. Do you think Brook should fight Khan or call it a day? To be honest, I don't think that, like for years and years and years, I tried to make Kell Brook against Amir Khan. And it was, that fight was so big at one stage, so big. But we just couldn't agree terms. And now, I mean, you tell me, do you want to see Kell Brook against Amir Khan? I don't think you'll see Kell Brook in the ring again, to be honest with you. How long will Terry Harper be out for? Good question. Horrific break. But she's getting it operated on this week. Mike Hayton, best in the business, so hopefully, get it done, rest up this year, and won't be too long into 2021 till she returns. Will you ever do another YouTube fight? Yeah, I probably would actually. But it has to be a big one. I think the only YouTube fight is KSI against KSI against Jake Paul. I think that's the only one. Tom Story, what's happening, mate? 68 kg, is that all you are? Are you going to try and sign Crawford next October? If Crawford is a free agent and available, absolutely. I mean, you know, you got to love Bob Aaron because he's so brutally honest. And I feel a bit for him because he's having to pay Crawford a load of money, and they haven't turned Crawford into the star that he should be and he needs to be for that kind of money. So you've either got to make him a star or you've got to pay up the money, but you've got to get him in the real fights. I mean, I think Crawford against Spence, it just has to happen. Has to happen. Haney against Linares, good fight. Florian Marku will change the game. Madrimov will be out early next year. When is Katie Taylor back? She looks in great shape. I thought that was one of the best performances so far from Katie Taylor. She looked revived, she looked fresh, she looked fit, she just full of energy. Listen, she'd fight next weekend, Katie Taylor. Akib Fiaz, how you doing, mate? Not long for you now. Will Billy still fight? What do you mean, Daniel? You talk about Saunders? Yeah, he's fighting December 4th against Martin Murray. Spence v Crawford, who wins? Crawford. Although, look, we don't know what we're going to get from Spence after the accident. You know, he looks fully fit, but Rachel Ball v Bridges, yeah, definitely a fight we're looking at. We'll see how long Bridges is out for. Also want to do the Rachel Ball Shannon Courtney rematch. She boxes Shannon Courtney on the Billy Joe Saunders card. What's the biggest business advice you'd give a 24-year-old to gain confidence? I would say that you have to find something that you believe in and you have a passion for. Because, see, with confidence, you can bluff confidence, right? I'll give you an example. When I started in boxing and I did the Audley Harrison against David Hay fight, it was the first press conference really I'd given in boxing. I went up there and I blagged the granny out of it, and everyone, wow, you're so good in the press conference in front of cameras. I was absolutely shitting myself. I was shaking. My hands, I had my hands here and they were shaking like this. So what I done was I just put them under my legs when I was talking like this. Confidence comes from putting yourself in situations time and time again. You can't just, have the bravado to say, I'm just going to be confident. You can blag it that way, but it comes from actually being good at what you do and believing in what you do. Now, if you have a passion for what you do and you love what you do, then the confidence will come through a lot quicker. So my advice to a 24-year-old would be make sure that you're doing something that when you get out of bed in the morning, it puts a smile on your face. Make sure when you get out of bed in the morning, you have something that you want to go at 100%. And through doing that, you will start to have more confidence in what you do. You'll become better at what you do. And ultimately, you won't have to bluff it anymore. So the moral of the story is, when I first started in boxing, I wasn't very confident, and I probably wasn't very good. And now I'm basically the nuts and I'm full of confidence. That was a joke. A lot of these times I do these jokes. Eddie, are you still in your pyjamas? No, it's a little smedley. When is Eric Donovan fighting again? Actually, he was talks about him fighting this weekend, actually. 9696Z, you're a bluffer. Yeah, but I'm really good, mate. I'm really, really good. Really good. Get Big John Fury a fight. He'd probably fight me. Jordan Gill, Albania is in the house. Yes, it is. Tom Story, what is my favourite dish? Tom Story, this ain't going to be good news for you, mate. But, if you said to me, what would you like for lunch? You could have anything in the world. I would go for ham, egg and chips. That is what I would have. But if you're talking about, of your level, Tom, I do like a little, little lobster linguine, something like that. Isaac Lowe, you're involved. No, I'm not involved with Isaac Lowe, but good young fighter. Liam Smith, going to be boxing early next year, I believe. Like to try and get him out. I'd like Liam Smith to fight Jesse Vargas. Happy birthday, Billy Buckley. Albania is in the house. There's a lot of Albanian, you know, Florian Marku fans here. What's the best business decision you have ever made? Don't know. Good question, that is. Come back to you on that. Haney v Garcia. Listen, Garcia's got to fight Luke Campbell first, so I believe Luke Campbell's going to beat Ryan Garcia. So I think you mean Haney v Luke Campbell. Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly is fighting David Avanesian. Looks like January the 30th. Unbelievable fight. That is the fight to make. That is the fight that will happen. Did you bet on the Masters? No, I don't really bet. And I feel like I don't really... Is it me, or does anyone sort of used to follow golf a little bit, but actually you see the leaderboard now and you've never heard of any of them? Or is that just because I'm getting old? When are you looking at getting Savannah Marshall out? End of Jan, early Feb. Eubank v Saunders too. Yeah, I think that's got potential. Who was your best and worst signing for Matchroom? Are you going to sign Ryland Charlton? Yes, I'm interested. We've offered him a couple of fights. We haven't got a fight made yet, but do you know what I like? Ryland Charlton against Florian Marku. Any takers for that fight? If you didn't have a silver spoon upbringing, what do you think you'd be doing? I think I'll probably be doing better, to be honest with you. I think I'll be probably running the money markets in town, something like that. But, you know, unfortunately, I had to take over the family business, so can't win them all. Are you in promoting for the long run, Eddie? I will carry on doing this, but I cannot tell you. This morning, I got a little bit of news, small news, it's not even worth going into, but it was about a fight that I was making that ended up getting done, or we solved the problem. And for the whole car journey into work, I was just singing. And that's how happy it makes me to overcome problems. So this job, this business, trust me when I say, especially with everything going on at the moment, it's full of aggravation, full of people trying to stick the knife in, mess up your plans. But I tell you what, mate, when you keep solving those problems, oh, it's so sweet. I love it. I love what I do. I really do. And that's what I said earlier, you know, to that young gentleman who's asking me advice for a 24-year-old. You have to love what you do, because otherwise you just can't. You can't have the relentless spirit that you need. And my new book, Relentless, is actually out now as well. #1 Sunday Times bestseller. So I don't know if you knew about that, but have you had an amateur fight before? Yes, at Billericay Boxing Club. Absolutely useless, but it's true. Alfie Martin, I've read the book, it's brilliant. Just about the book, I don't know if you knew, I've got a book out, but I've got a book. Florian Marku is the Albanian Mike Tyson fact. Eddie, do you play golf? Yes, I do. My handicap is 14. Occasionally I will play to single figures, but mostly I will play to 24. Cheers, Nina. Hope you're well. Jake or Nate? Oh, this is that fight on the undercard. I don't know anything about this Nate guy. But Jake Paul can fight, by the way. Best pound for pound fighter in the world. At the moment, Canelo Alvarez. Will you still do Joshua Wilder? No, not on the agenda. The absolute plan is Joshua, fingers crossed, beats Pulev December 12th, straight into the Tyson Fury fight. Vidal Riley, can he be world champion? I don't know. Really nice guy. I like Vidal a lot. I'm not sure if he's he can fight, but at those levels, we'll wait and see. Taylor Barry, what's happening, mate? Parker v Chisora, loved that fight. He's got to get past his December fight first against Junior Farr. Great fight. Florian Marku says, the Albanian fans got me to 1 million followers. They did give me a little boost. Here, Florian, what do you know? Listen, well, you know we have Reshat Mati, right? Who is going really well out of New York, the Albanian bear. I know there's no beef between you two, but just to put it into context, Florian Marku against Reshat Mati. Does Albania just literally stop for that fight? I mean, you tell me. Fezza, love the lockdown fights. Cheers, mate. It is not easy at the moment. It is not easy, but we're cracking on and we're not stopping. We've pretty much got a show every week. AJ Usyk, yes, that fight will happen probably at some point, but that fight will happen after Pulev if we don't make the Fury fight. But as I said, the Fury fight is the fight we must make. Has Joe Gallagher reached out? No, haven't heard from Joe for a while. Anthony Sims Jr. next fight. To be early next year. Albanians never fight against others. Okay, Florian, got it. But if you become world champion and Reshat becomes world champion, come on, a little Albanian unification match. What did you think to Kel losing? I thought Kel got himself in great shape. I thought he boxed nicely for the first few rounds, but listen, Crawford's just fresh, very good, and yeah, got the win. Who's the best promoter, you or your dad? I think from a numbers perspective, mathematically, my old man is on another level. But in terms of selling, in terms of being reactive, in terms of understanding trends, Governor. Who's the hardest hitter in the world right now? Pound for pound. Could be Inoue. Do you know what? I'm going to say something now as well. I know obviously he doesn't have the profile yet of Inoue. Pound for pound, James Tennyson is one of the biggest punchers in boxing. And he is going to be an eliminator for the world title soon. Eddie, when do you think White will fight Povetkin? And has he fight before the end of the year? No, Dillian won't fight this year. That fight is scheduled for January the 30th, and I'm very confident that will happen. Has AJ got any injuries? No, he has not. What's your take on Fury being delayed until 2021? I saw Frank Warren's comments where he just basically said he was quite honest. He said we couldn't get the money together. It's not a great look, you know. Canelo looks like he's fighting. AJ he's fighting. So we're all struggling to make it happen for these big names, but don't know. What do I think of Frank Warren? I think he's a survivor. You have to respect him. Been around a long time. Just like Bob Arum. Eddie, it's the festive season. Where is the turtleneck? The turtleneck has come out recently, to be honest with you. Had a green one for the... Oh, by the way, couple of shout outs to people who get in touch. And again, I do not receive any money for this, but when I like a product and I think it's good. So I bought some stuff from Reese recently, okay? And I did an interview with Coogan and I was wearing the old Reese polo neck and I mentioned it and they got in touch and sent me a couple of polo necks. Very nice. And the other one is Coffee Mod, okay? I love my coffee. There's a couple of coffee companies on here who send us coffee for the office. Broomfield Coffee Company as well. Coffee Mod just sent me, I make myself sound really old here. I can't believe I'm saying this. I love actually learning about coffee beans. That sounds terrible. Is anyone on here a coffee expert? So Coffee Mod sent me Colombia, Costa Rica, Guatemala, Honduras, and somewhere else. I like strong, bold coffee. Has anyone got any recommendations of the... Yes, Lee Appleyard. I'll tell you what, Lee Appleyard against Florian Marku, that can happen. Yeah, going back to my coffee, any coffee lovers out there, what do I need? I want really strong and bold. I've got to say, the Colombian blend from Coffee Mod was unbelievable. Yeah, Jamaican coffee, a lot of people say that. Ever tried soup? Florian, I'm going to be speaking to your manager, Sam Jones. Don't worry, we'll get it worked out. Moon roast coffee. Let me just make a little note of these. Moon roast coffee. Thin glass coffee. You're going to do a wind up now, aren't you? And just start making up names of things that don't exist. I'm not falling for that. Azira. I do rate Nescafe Azira. I do. What's happening, Harry? Gail Martin. What's next for Cash Farouk? Can we just take a minute to appreciate the skills of young Cash Farouk, who boxed on Saturday? So I watched this kid fight Lee McGregor, I think it was on YouTube, and I said to myself, you know, I know everyone's got an opinion, I felt like he won that fight. I said, we have to sign Cash Farouk. This kid's going to be a world champion. Jamaica Blue Mountain Coffee, I've heard about this. Blue Mountain, I've heard about this from Jamaica. We're going to order some of that up. You are one Hampton, says Jamie. Thanks, Jamie. I don't know, I guess that's a good thing. Yes, the Scotch egg. I mean, that's just the worst banter ever. What do you prefer, Watsits or Skips? Wow. Wow. Look, all I'll say is, with regards to Skips, you have to be in the mood for Skips, right? I think Watsits consistently deliver, but Skips every now and again. Now, people talk about Quavers, I don't know. Listen, let's be honest, let's not, excuse my language, let's not fuck around. Cheetos are on another level, and the Flaming Hot Cheetos are unquestionably one of the most underrated crisps out there. But when you talk about crisps that have stood the test of time, Monster Munch Pickle Onion, they're timeless, and I'll be honest with you, I'm not ashamed to say it. Space Raiders Pickled Onion, for me, an all-time classic. Knick Knacks, yeah, Knick Knacks decent. Our Burger from Australia, how we doing, mate? We're coming to Australia soon, don't worry. Flaming Hot Huge Watsits, not heard of them. Eddie, would you do the jungle? No, I've actually been asked to do it before. What's my favourite fight of all time? So the best fight that I've ever seen live was Michael Brody against Injin Chi for the WBC World Title in Manchester. That's probably the best fight I've ever seen live. Although AJ against Klitschko, I think it's just because I was just in another world. I probably didn't get the chance to really. There's another fight that I did recently I said one of the best fights I've ever seen live. Transformer Pickled Onion, R.I.P. Don't come in here with lines like that. If you can't talk. I've got to look into that. What do I think of Glowacki? Listen, I think a Coley against Glowacki is a brilliant fight. Glowacki is world class. What brand of hair dye do you use, mate? I don't use hair dye, but I'm gonna have a little op. I think just a little under there. It's not too good. I need to bring my hairline back there. So. Thoughts on Maloney being robbed for the world title? I haven't really seen this too much. Only everybody's thoughts on Maloney was against Franco and a headbutt or an alleged headbutt. What are my favourite movies? Stand By Me, The Truman Show, Jerry Maguire, The Joker. And do you know what? I honestly think, I mean, I can't even remember the name of it now. What's the film with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga? That film. I think that's one of the best films I've ever seen, to be honest. Thoughts on new boxing game? We were in discussions, we are in discussions, but we're just getting through this at the moment. And yeah, Shawshank Redemption, Diane, good fight, good film. Star is Born. Star is Born is a great film, I have to say, great film. Give us some impressions of Chris Eubank. No, I am not going to do it because you do not understand. Stand By Me is a great film. Probably one food to eat for the rest of your life. I think if calories weren't a concern, I can smash pizzas all day, to be honest with you. Truman Show. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Great film. Dark Knight, yeah. Smith Canelo update, still talking, still trying. Crafty Carper, what's happening, mate? Chez's more Cheetos, yeah, Cheetos are unreal. Adriana, Conor Benn against Virgil Ortiz. I rate Virgil Ortiz very highly. See, with Conor Benn, I have to be honest, when we started with Conor Benn, he was so raw. We put him in front of a sold-out O2, and he came out, bless him, on his debut. I'm telling you now, this kid, the improvements he has made are unbelievable, Conor Benn. But on Saturday, he fights Formella, who is just a massive step up. Any beauty tip secrets? Not really. I do use a little bit of under eye, little Tom Ford, like sort of try and make the eyes look a little bit. I do sub a little bit with sort of in the mornings. Actually, I don't look like I've got any eyes, but. What do you think Marku v Ben? Massive fight. But we do need to give Marku some proper fights. He's very talented. And Conor Benn stepping up well beyond the levels of those guys on Saturday night. But let's see if he gets through. And we can give Florian some fights as well. Mate, that fight's massive. Favourite pizza? It'd have to be one that you make your own. Like if you said to me, Eddie, stick the ingredients on, what do you fancy? I would say chicken, jalapenos. You know, in Pizza Express, you get those little, Tom Story, if it's still on. Is it Roquito peppers or something? What is the picture behind me? That is Muhammad Ali against Sonny Liston. You can't really see because there's a light reflection there, but it's got a crown on as a dove, and it's like, yes, it's cheeky. You're getting better with age, Eddie. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. Bentley v Cash. Yes, that is a fight the board will order. Picante peppers, yeah. Or sweet Roquito. Yeah, I think that's it. Right. Favourite cheese? Oh, that's that geezer who asks it all the time. Meg Matthews, how you doing? My favourite cheese. I mean, I'm partial to the halloumi at the minute, to be fair. But I think over the course of time, mozzarella. For me, mozzarella, beautiful tomatoes, a little small pesto, maybe a little cheeky Parma ham on the side, little order. I'm enjoying this live, guys. We're really going deep here. Like, you know, have you got your Christmas tree up? No, but this is incoming, I think. It's going to be earlier this year, obviously. My favourite Italian, my favourite Italian restaurant? It's the one in Vegas. What's it called? There's one in New York as well. Guys, just remind me, what's the Carbone? Oh, mate. Oh, Carbone in Vegas. What a gaff. Biggest lesson from your time at Leyton Orient? That's a random one for Oz Boxing. So the biggest lesson from my time at Leyton Orient, I mean, look, my old man was a chairman, I was vice chairman. I would say the biggest lesson is owning a football club is the biggest waste of time financially you can ever imagine. But my God, does it give you some highs. I mean, when Orient got promoted against Oxford, that goes down as one of the best days of my life. Unbelievable. When Orient got the draw against Arsenal at Brisbane Road, mate, unbelievable, unbelievable. I mean, so many great days. Obviously, the kick in the nuts against Rotherham at Wembley in the playoffs of the Championship. Oh, mate, just the highs are unbelievable, but it is brutal because all the fans ever want is money and blood. Even though, like for my old man, he put everything into that club. He loved it. He still does. Today, still loves it. But he couldn't have done any more. But you can never win. You can never win. How's the silver spoon going for you, Jamie? Turned it gold, mate. No longer silver, mate. Turned it gold. My boy Lee Steele. Lee Steele, legend. Legend. Is Barry Hearn a better promoter than your old rival Frank Warren? Different styles, mate. Different people. Different integrity. What would you say is the best place in Brentwood to go? What are you after? If you want to go for a lovely bit of food and a drink, I would recommend Lot 75 in Shenfield. If you just want to go for dinner, I would say Alex's and Smith's. Yeah. But general, quality breakfast, great food, great bar, good atmosphere, nice people, Lot 75 in Shenfield. Who's your favourite boxing YouTube channel outside of IFL? No, that's a tough question, that one. If you could punch anyone in the face, who would it be? I don't really have that in. I'm not an angry guy. Have you ever been to Newark, Eddie? Only when I'm driving down the A1 at the service station. Favourite high street clothes shop? Okay, anyone who follows me knows that I shop with Tom Sweeney for my suits. The favourite high street shop? I mean, I guess you have to, for men's clothes, I have to probably say Reese again. Sam Attack, hello, how you doing? What's my favourite sandwich? Guys, where are we going with this? Like, I'm going to start losing followers to this live if we just keep talking about food and sandwiches. My favourite sandwich? Again, it's the mood. Like, if you've had a few beers, for me, a crusty French stick with bacon. I know this is going a little bit sort of nouveau, and avocado. But I do like chicken. Do you know what, actually? You know what I like? You know when you get the real crispy baguette, and you know the cheap ham, where you get 700 slices for 99p? I like that. I don't know why. Stuff it in, like the whole packet literally in a baguette. Wallop. Latte or cappuccino? Kind of same thing. I'm not a milky coffee guy. Although, toffee nut latte from Starbucks in the Christmas edition, I rate it highly. Opinion on Dave Allen and will he get a job at Sky? I think Dave Allen's going to work in boxing for a long time. I don't think he's... Someone's just said, the passion of Eddie when he's describing the sandwich. I love food. I love food. As you can tell. How is doing business different in the UK to America? Good question. I think in America, it's kind of like, you know, every state is almost like a different country, a different mindset, different perception. And obviously here, what works in London pretty much works in Liverpool and Manchester and vice versa. In America, what works in New York doesn't work in Texas, or what works in Arizona doesn't work in Chicago. So it's a lot more It's good fun though, it's very challenging. Who do you prefer, JJ or Logan? Do you know what? Not sitting on the fence. Both really good guys, both very bright guys. I have a lot of respect for both of them. Eddie, you're making me hungry. Yeah, mate, I'm hungry now, to be fair. Would I ever open a restaurant? I think that's probably like owning a football club, isn't it? I mean, just brutal. Do I think Frampton beats Herring? I think it's a good fight. I'm not too sure. Have you been to all the states in America? Not every state, no. Ritson's next fight. I quite like Ritson against Ricky Burns actually, but I'm trying to get Ritson a final eliminator as well with the WBA. How's the book sales? I thought signing a sticker was lazy. Well, the book sales are unbelievable. It's the #1 bestseller. The only thing I'll say about the book stickers that were obviously put into the book, because of COVID, I just couldn't handle 2,000 or 3,000 books and get them to us, and you know, so it was a bit difficult. Is that a comb over? Massively, massively. What is my favourite beach in the world? Do you know what I was thinking about this the other day? Has anyone here been to Cyprus, right? Is anyone here about my age? You remember when we used to go to Ayia Napa? There's a little beach, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's unbelievable. And so the beach is here, and then this like sand bit goes out, and then into this wider beach. Anyone been there in Ayia Napa? But I would actually say Formentera in Ibiza is probably one of my favourite beaches. Who you got in Taylor Ramirez? Good fight. I believe Josh Taylor will win that fight. Bora Bora is the beach. Adriana, I've never been to Bora Bora. I would like to go, but isn't it like, it takes a day to get there, I think. Nissi Beach. Is that what it's called? I'm not sure it is Nissi Beach. Which fighter that you've worked with is the best in the war of words, best psychologically? I think George Groves is quite clever. Was quite clever, George Groves. I think probably Vladimir Klitschko. And listen, Tyson Fury's great chat as well. Nissi Beach in Ayia Napa. Yeah, that might be it. Yeah, Adriana, it's 8 hours from LA. LA is 9 hours from me. Right, I'm going to shoot people, go and do some work. Lethal Lily May, how you doing? When am I going to Turkey for the hair transplant? December. I'm not going to Turkey either. I've got another little gaff that's going to sort me out. I'm not going for like the full bald. I'm just going to have a little bit of a touch up. My favourite band. Band, don't know. Been listening to a lot of strange things lately. John Ryder has news soon. He's fighting this year. Emma London, how you doing? Alf Parker, I'm not ignoring you, mate. I didn't see your messages. Okay. Right. I'm off. Don't forget, this Saturday, massive show back at Wembley Arena. Huge fight for Conor Benn. Load of heavyweight action as well. Alan Babbage against Tom Little. Fabio Wardley against Larty as well. But Conor Benn, massive step up on Saturday night. Don't miss it, live on Sky Sports. Live on DAZN as well. Red or white wine? Red. Although it depends what you're eating. I do like a glass of red, but I do like a nice crispy glass of white with a bit of fish. Who don't? Why am I ignoring Clarissa Shields v Taylor? Because one's 154 or 160 pounds, the other one's 135. I mean, I could probably get Taylor up to 140. But even when she boxed at 140, she was like drinking to try and get there. All right, people. Stay at it, stay focused. Nearly there. We're closing out this year in style. Don't miss it. Tune in this Saturday. Take care.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.